Come again.
Hello, and welcome to the American Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series on Massage Therapy Radio. I'm Felicia Brown, and I'll be your host for this interview and series. This is one of several broadcasts with the presenters and experts who will be appearing at the American Massage Conference May 20th through 22nd, 2011. The inaugural event is being sponsored by Massage Today, Massage Envy, Massage Warehouse, and ABMP, and will be held in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Our special guest today is C.G. Funk. C.G. and I will be talking about getting ready for successful employment as a preview to the first ever national job fair that's being held at the American Massage Conference. But before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about C.G. C.G. Funk is the Vice President of Industry Relations and Product Development for Massage Envy Limited. C.G. has been actively involved in the massage industry since 1992 as a therapist, instructor, corporate trainer, and school administrator. She is a licensed massage therapist in the state of Arizona and a graduate of the Utah College of Massage Therapy. C.G. developed curricula and programs for the Utah College of Massage Therapy's Professional Massage Therapy Training Program. She developed and implemented faculty training programs for 7 campuses and 350 faculty members. C.G. has been a guest lecturer and presenter at many industry trade shows and conventions. C.G., welcome to the American Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series. It's great to have the opportunity to talk with you today about getting ready for successful employment.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, Felicia.
Well, I'm glad to have the opportunity to catch up with you, and we're so thankful to have you as well as Massage Envy involved in the conference. Before we get into our topic, I'd like to ask you, why did Massage Envy want to be a part of the American Massage Conference?
Well, Massage Envy has always been committed to supporting national conferences for massage therapists and the massage profession, and we saw a great opportunity to highlight our career opportunities to attendees and also to contribute to furthering the education of massage therapists, which just in turn grow our profession.
Well, we're very thankful to have you as a global sponsor, and I know that your involvement in conferences like this one are really vital to the success of them, so thank you again for that. Now, on a personal level, is there anything that you're excited about seeing or doing at the American Massage Conference?
Well, yeah, I always look forward to conferences. One thing that I really look forward to is meeting Massage Envy therapist attendees because, we have 16,000 massage therapists that work for us, and, I barely get the opportunity to meet any of them throughout the year. So when Massage Envy therapists attend these conferences, they're usually making a beeline towards our booth, and I love meeting them and being able to chat with them. And also talking with the other folks that come through the exhibit area and working with ABMP and AMC reps on the job fair. The job fair is going to be a great event on Sunday.
It is going to be a fantastic event. I know that people who are interested in looking for a career with Massage Envy or with some other company are going to have a lot of opportunities to just get their questions answered and do a little research, put their resume out there. So I'm excited to share more details about that with everybody and to get your specific feedback and help for people that are coming to the job fair. I mean, you have such a wealth of knowledge. So that's what our topic is today, about helping people get prepared to have a successful career or successful employment. And I kind of like to just start at the beginning and find out what you think most employers of massage therapists are actually looking for in an employee.
Well, obviously qualifications, what their skill set is, what they outline on their resume as their past experience. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a massage. You could just be a new graduate coming out of school, but you had former job history with customer service, working with the public, that type of thing. Those qualifications are great for a professional massage therapist in an employee setting like that. So be sure and list those. Always a positive attitude. Employers want to see somebody that's, positive, happy, smiling, and just excited to be there. They like to see interest in the company and the position, a stable work history, and good communication skills is another one. So being able to speak and communicate effectively, and something we call high performance standards. And what I mean by that is, for most professional therapists out there, they will understand when I say this, and for students, this is probably something good to learn, is in our profession, high performance standards really have to do with professional decorum, professional behavior, code of ethics, standards of practice, the way that you interact with clients. So employers want to see that you hold all of that in high regard.
Absolutely. I agree with you on all of those. And I was just listening to you talk recently, and this is a little off the cuff here, but I was just listening to you talk recently about people showing interest in the company. Obviously, a job fair is a place where people can come and learn about a particular employer, but how else might you suggest that people would learn about a potential employer?
Well, we've got the World Wide Web. And that's one of the easiest things, because it's right there at your fingertips. You can Google most employers and find their consumer website and check them out. And if they're in your neighborhood or in your town, I recommend you go visit them. Whether that's just walking in and asking some questions, or going in kind of like a secret shopper and getting some services. So those are three great ways to find out more about companies.
In the story I was listening to you tell, and I hope you don't mind me repeating this, you were talking about doing some interviewing yourself, and I thought this was such a great point. Out of all the people that had submitted a resume for their job with you, only one of them really knew anything about the company.
Yep.
And that was the person that got the job.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot.
It does, and as far as interview preparation, you need to be prepared. You need to know about that organization that you're saying you have a passion to work for them, and especially when it's a larger location. It's probably a little more difficult to know a lot about a smaller chiropractic office, but when you're talking about, the Biltmore Spa or Canyon Ranch or Massage Envy, you should be pretty well educated in who they are, at least in a general sense.
Most definitely. I think employees have to understand what kind of a workplace they're entering into in order to see if they're a good fit for that workplace. It's not just about having a job, but finding a job that you're going to enjoy. Ultimately, that's what your employer wants, too. They don't want to just have a warm body filling a position. They want someone that wants to be there and that wants to be successful in that. So I think that's great advice.
Yeah, I mean, if as therapists, we share ourselves a lot through touch. I mean, that's our main, it's mainly what we do. And that sharing, has to come from a happy, positive place with oneself. And so when you look at different venues or different employment opportunities, you want to look past just the front part of it, and you want to look into what kind of clients will I be serving here? Can I make a difference? Will that feed me? What's the management like? Will I get support from them? Who else works here? Will I fit into that team, and will I feel welcome? So there's all these different pieces of it. But at the end of the day, the most important part is that you're starting a career or a position in a employment opportunity where you feel like that you're actually going to be able to help those people coming through the doors every day with your massage. And that's what feeds us as massage therapists at the end of the day. So you want to look at all of that.
Most definitely. Now, I know that when I was first in practice, CG, most of the therapists out there were independent therapists. We all kind of went off and did our own thing, but there's more of an employee environment these days, and it's kind of maybe a different way of thinking. Are there any particular qualities that you think are important for therapists to have in that employee-oriented environment?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need to be a team player, because you're not just isolated in your own office, just you and the client. There's a lot of other people involved when you go to work in a day spa or a clinic. You've got front of the house staff, which is all the people that do all of the work for you, so that those clients show up and, are there for you to work on. And then you have back of the house, which is all your fellow therapists. So you need to be able to enjoy being in that type of a team environment, and you need to be able to be flexible. And one of the key differences is in being a private practitioner to being an employee is that you're going to have to be able to follow that spa's policies, procedures, and protocols, because it's their business, and those policies and procedures and protocols are written for some very important reasons. I mean, biggest one is safety for the client and for the therapist, and then effectiveness of services, and then processes, how all of this works together. So, those qualities are pretty important. As any employee in any business, obviously, right. But it's worth pointing out for massage therapists that'll apply to them as well.
Well, I'll tell you, having owned a spa where I had multiple therapists, I think at my peak I had something like 23 massage therapists working for me, and there were some people that I absolutely adored, but they didn't fit that team player model. They were really focused on, well, my client needs more time, so I'm going to run over time. Or I don't want to do this service this particular way because I don't like this product. And they thought they were doing the right thing, and if they had been in an individual practice, that might have made sense. But what happened was it ended up causing friction with other staff members. Either they'd have a room tied up when someone else was supposed to be using that, or the next client appointment would be running late, or people got different experiences from each other. So you have two therapists that are doing two services on two best friends. One decides they're going to use the hot stones as an extra and not charge for it. The other one doesn't. And when the two friends come out of the room and talk about their service, they had different experiences, and so neither of them end up being happy. So I totally agree with you about that team player, and it goes on so many different levels besides just, being on time or having a good attitude. It's really, all those processes and procedures are put there in place, and so I think that's a great point.
Yeah, and I think, for me, there's another way to look at this too, which I think a lot of therapists don't really get or understand, is when you're working for an employer and they have these policies, procedures, or protocols, one of the most important reasons to follow those is because if you do, it protects your career. And, let's take out the safety issue for the client, or let's take out that, you're like Starbucks and you want all the soy lattes to taste the same from coast to coast. Let's just look at the therapist in their career, and if they are acting outside of what that company or that spa has dictated as their policies and procedures and protocols, and they injure a client, or a client complains about something, they're always going to be the person that loses in that.
Right.
There's no protection for them. And so it's really super important to understand that these types of policies and procedures are put in place to protect that therapist and their career, and to make services as conservative as possible and as safe as possible for the average consumer that comes through the door. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, if something happens and a therapist is behaving outside of those policies and procedures, they lose. And I've seen it go all the way to where they actually have lost licenses. So it's really super important that you understand that employers' mindset are also there to protect the therapist as well as the clients that come in every day.
You are absolutely right, and I won't go into the story, but there's one story I teach when teaching ethics in a massage school setting that talks about that very thing, where someone didn't think they were doing anything wrong, but they kind of went outside the guidelines and not only lost their job, but ended up losing their license.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's such an important point, and it's something that people don't always think about, particularly if they haven't had a lot of job experience.
Right.
Or haven't worked for someone else before. Maybe they've done something on the side, but the rationale behind the policies and procedures may not occur to them. But that's exactly why we're pointing this out, and I think that's such a great point.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I know that as an educator, I definitely try to encourage people how to be a good employee, but I don't know if this is widespread or not. Do you think, and not to get any schools in trouble here to point a finger, but do you think massage schools are preparing new therapists to be good employees?
Well, you know, that's a really general question, and it totally depends on the individual school. But historically, schools have prepared therapists for self-employment or private practice. What I have seen in the last 4 or 5 years is the landscape of our profession has changed drastically. So there's more job opportunities than ever before. So from my experiences, schools were slow to transition professional development courses to this new reality of job opportunities or employment opportunities. And textbook authors were slow to revise their textbooks to include employment versus private practice. But it is changing. And I look forward to more information being taught to students on employee versus independent contractor. And also, I look forward to have students learning more about the incredible career opportunities there are available today. So historically, self-employment, private practice. It's changing, but it was very slow to change. And I just see more changes schools will make in that direction in the next few years.
I think so. I know as an educator, it's something that I've worked hard to make that transition. In my own mind, it took some transition, having grown up or grown through a program in a time where it was all individual practitioners or private practice. So it is a transition, but it's an exciting thing because as a massage therapist coming out of school now, there's so many more opportunities than there were when I went to school. I'm sure you can relate. 17 years ago when I graduated, there was like one option. Go work for yourself and work as a contractor for any salon or whatever that has an extra room and can squeeze a massage table in it.
Right.
So it's nice to have companies like Massage Envy that provide these other opportunities out there for people graduating, that they don't just have to go and open a practice and cross their fingers that they'll end up knowing enough about business to market themselves and to get people in the door.
Yeah, and it's also, just to point out, it's also very good for therapists that have been in the field for a long time, maybe ran their own private practice, maybe left for a while, to raise a family or, do something else. I mean, those career opportunities are available to them as well. And, there's so much flexibility in that between full-time and part-time and evening hours and day hours and weekend hours. And so, it's not just the new graduates coming out of school that benefit from this. And we see that across the board in our locations. Most of our therapists nationwide have 2+ years experience in the profession. And we've met therapists working for us that have up to 20, 30 years as a massage therapist. So it's good for everybody to understand those opportunities.
Most definitely. I'd say that a number of people I know that are working in a quote-unquote real job doing massage have added it as an adjunct to perhaps their own practice. Maybe they weren't seeing as many clients as they'd like. Maybe they just wanted to let go of the responsibility of running their own business and wanted to have a place where all those details were taken care of. They could just show up and do what they love and not have to worry about, the bookkeeping has to be turned into the accountant now, or I have to go do the laundry, or whatever responsibilities were driving them crazy. So
yeah, we see that. We see that over and over again with us. And there's one other thing that I think is not mentioned as often, is because therapists in a private practice, they work so solitary that oftentimes you see that they'll pick up a couple days a week at, a clinic like Massage Envy just to get some more social interaction. when I had my business for years, I balanced that out by being a teacher. So I taught, 4 to 6 classes a week, and then also have my practice. But, for most of us, we're social animals as human beings, and we need to have a little bit of that in our lives and not just this solitary piece of work that we do. So that's another thing that we see quite often. They'll have a private practice, and then they'll work for us 2 or 3 days a week to balance that.
Well, that isolation can be tough, and that's one of the reasons why we definitely encourage people to come to conferences like this, just to get out and meet people and have a chance to network and create some support for yourself. But certainly working in an environment where you have coworkers and you're not just alone can provide that support as well.
Right. And I'm just all for that. I mean, if everybody's out there listening and you can attend the American Massage Conference, do it. It will enrich your life. You will take away new friends. You'll take away new philosophy on massage or bodywork. You'll learn new techniques, and you really will grow yourself professionally. So if you can do it, come on down to Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're really trying to encourage people to come to the job fair, and as I said, I'm going to share more details about that in a minute. But for people that are coming in and looking for a job, we want to help prevent them from making mistakes in that career search. I'm curious, what's one of the biggest mistakes you see new therapists make when they're looking for a new job?
They don't start soon enough. So if you're talking about a new therapist, I'm going to assume you mean newly graduated.
Okay.
And they wait till after they're graduated before they start looking. And my coaching to students is always start visiting your career placement office during your program. Start learning about different career options out there. Talk to your teachers. Visit employers to experience their work environments. Attend all the job fairs and career days your school organizes. Meet therapists, other therapists, and start to build a network. Start doing it while you're in school. Don't think, because if you wait till you graduate and are licensed, you're already a couple months behind. So I'm not saying that you have to know exactly where you're going to apply in your first month of school, but you should start thinking about your career pretty quick after you start school.
Well, I think that's good advice. I will say as a former employer of massage therapists that I would sometimes hesitate. I might be willing to talk to someone about a career or give them advice or give them a tour of their spa. I wouldn't seriously interview them, though, until they were licensed. And that's a difference of opinion for sure, and that's, we can definitely have that. But my experience was people would come to me and say, oh, I'm going to have my license, and, blah, blah, blah. So I'd hire them and go through the interview process, and they wouldn't pass their exam. Or if it was coming from another state, they wouldn't get their transfer stuff done in time. So I will say I'm on the other side of the coin that I tend to be the cynic in that and say, when you have your license, then come talk to me. Because
okay. Yeah, well, that's not, Felicia, I didn't mean to say that if that was how it was interpreted. I didn't say that go get an interview with employer. What I meant to say was start researching your options. Start learning about what's out there. Visit different places as a client to see what kind of work environments those are. So.
Well, that's great then, and I appreciate that. And I think maybe that's one thing to, to encourage students to definitely go out and do the research. But from an employer standpoint, remember you don't have that license yet, and so the amount of there's some limitations that the employer is going to have about hiring you or committing to giving you a job if you don't have the actual qualification in place yet. And so I think we're on the same page. We're just coming at it from a slightly different point in the road, but I think the research is definitely, just like what you were saying before, find out where you want to work. Know the kind of situation that you want to be a part of. Know that this company has the right culture for you before you put all your eggs in one basket and apply there and then find out, oh, I don't really like it. They don't really do what I want. So I'm definitely in agreement with you there. And the schools that I've taught in, unfortunately, to my knowledge, didn't have any kind of career placement. But I think if your school does have that kind of career placement office or something, job board or something like that, a career counselor, then that's a fantastic option. I also have always encouraged therapists to talk to other therapists, to go talk to people that have a job somewhere and see what they think, if they like it, or just get feedback. Because, like you say, if you wait too long, then you could be waiting months and months after graduating and not knowing what you're doing. So in relation to the job fair at the American Massage Conference, CG, how do you think people can best prepare for coming to a job fair and talking with employers?
A job fair, just so everyone understands, typically isn't about having an interview. It's about scheduling an interview, typically. So what you need to do is have a lot of copies of your resume with you, and you'll probably want to make a pretty generic cover letter, because if you're going to drop it off at different employers, you wouldn't want, it to be specific for an individual employer and it didn't fit the next one. You dress professionally, so you want to look good, and really have a goal for how many employers you want to talk to and how many interviews you want to set. I mean, things happen because we set goals for them. So if you're just coming in flying by the seat of your pants, you might not have as much as if you have committed yourself to a goal of having 3 interviews by the time you leave there. Now, that being said, at this job fair, there might be opportunities to do verbal interviews with some of the employers. I'm just not sure if there's going to be a space for that or not. But mostly what you want to do is get an interview with them for a later time.
Excellent. Well, I think the idea about setting a goal is a wonderful piece of advice. I like to say, if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. It's kind of a takeoff on a Yogi Berra quote. And so I think that's a wonderful thing. Maybe your goal is to talk to specific employers, or as you said, maybe to have 3 interviews or to drop off 10 resumes or whatever it is. But I think that is a really wise idea. And I'm glad to know about that what your goal here is to set up interviews. I really didn't know what the structure of the job fair would be, having never been to a national massage job fair myself. This would be a new experience for me as well. So that's a great piece of insight for people that are considering coming to that and looking at employment opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
So before we wrap up, I just want to see if there's any other piece of advice that you have for new therapists or for therapists that are looking for a job.
Well, wow, we covered a lot of my pieces of advice in this presentation, so I can't really think of one off the top of my head. But, be prepared when you're going to go for your interview. Have a great, simple resume to read. Be personable. Show up, look good, and really find something that resonates with you. Those are really pretty simple pieces of advice, but, they tend to work when you're looking for a job.
Well, I think that's all solid advice, and I certainly appreciate everything that you shared. I know, I know that some people are going to be interested in Massage Envy careers or finding out how they can gain employment with a local Massage Envy franchise. Can you tell me a little bit about how they can find out about those opportunities?
Yeah, we have our own career website called massageenvycareers.com, so they can go on there and they can job search by zip code or area they're in and look at the job opportunities, or they can also come out to the job fair at the American Massage Conference and talk to us one-on-one. So we'll look forward to hearing from them either way.
Well, that's great, and I so appreciate you sharing that. That's a good website. I've been on there myself. It's got a lot of, in addition to the regular consumer Massage Envy website, there's a lot of good information, and I think there's some good career support, not just for people looking for a Massage Envy career, but also for people interested in a massage career in general.
Yes,
so
there is. Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that people go and check that out. I'd like to remind everybody that you can come and meet CG and learn more about Massage Envy at the American Massage Conference, and we'd like to invite you to be a part of that first American Massage Conference in Atlanta. Of course, this is put together by my friend Scott Dartnell and his wonderful team, Angie Patrick, and some wonderful friends from Canada whose last names I mangle when I say them, so we'll just call them Robin, Lorna, and Monica. They're a great team, and they have worked so hard to put together a valuable conference for you, valuable, affordable, and jam-packed, full of fun and education. Only $40 gets you access to 25 free one-hour CE classes. This is an amazing value all by itself, but that's not all you get for that $40. You'll also get access to the trade show with the top massage product and equipment manufacturers and vendors, and you'll be eligible to win thousands of dollars in door prizes. This door prize raffle is amazing. If you've been to the Canadian Massage Conference, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. So that $40 is well worth the investment just to have a chance to win these prizes. But there's so much more that comes with a conference for that $40. As we've been talking about today, we are going to be offering the first ever National Massage Therapy Job Fair. That's on Sunday the 22nd from 1 until 4. And this is not just for people who are in the Atlanta area. As you must have guessed by talking with CG today, there are going to be national employers, including Massage Envy, as well as state and local employers. So bring your resume. Your $40 registration to the American Massage Conference could help you latch on to a new job. So definitely come and check that out. And if you're an employer that's interested in participating in the job fair, please visit our website at www.americanmassageconference.com. Click on the job fair link and fill out the form to let us know about your interest, or if you have any feedback about the job fair, we'd really like to hear that. Besides the job fair, there will be another 100 hours of continuing education available from a variety of instructors. These are through 3-hour, full-day, and 2-day workshops, and you can register for those separately when you register for the conference. For students, we also have a free student day and the Smart from the Start presentation. Of course, we'll also have a free full-day class with Laura Allen on passing the MBLEX and NCB certification exams. This is sponsored by ABMP, and the first 70 students to the class will also receive a free book of Laura's book, a free copy of Laura's book on the same topic, How to Pass Massage Certification Exams. And that's generously donated by Lippincott Publishers. Now, all attendees are invited to come to the Saturday night gala with food, drinks, and live entertainment. So be sure to get your tickets for this event as well when you register. As I've said before, the conference staff and crew has worked so hard to make this conference affordable, and the hotel that is a part of this conference is also affordable, only $121 a night. Whether you choose to have a room on your own or split it with up to 3 friends, it's a very valuable option, and you definitely, if you can, want to stay at the conference hotel. It's where all the action is taking place, and it'll be more fun if you stay there. So go ahead and register for the hotel there if you can. As a reminder to everyone, the show guide will make up the center spread of Massage Today's May issue. This guide will go out to over 62,000 massage therapists and will be available free at the show. This is the first nationally circulated conference show guide and has some amazing advertising opportunities. So if you're a vendor or an educator or perhaps an employer who is listening in today and you want to get some great exposure for your company, products, or classes, please contact Sandy Pierce at Massage Today for details on being a part of the show guide. Of course, the American Massage Conference could not happen without the support of all of our global sponsors, including Massage Envy, thank you so much, CG, and Massage Warehouse, ABMP, and Massage Today. We thank all of them for their support in this year's event. If you'd like to find out how you can attend the American Massage Conference May 20th through 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia, come by and meet CG, apply for a job with Massage Envy Careers, or meet some of the other employers, perhaps attend classes with some of the amazing presenters at this year's event, then I'd like to invite you to visit the official conference website at www.americanmassageconference.com. You're also invited to stay in touch with us on Facebook. That is www.facebook.com/American Massage Conference. And as something new, we have just added a toll-free phone number where you can register and take your classes online, or pardon me, by phone. You don't have to have online access. You can register by phone. Operators are waiting for your call, so get your pen ready. That number is 877-788-3078. Again, that number is 877-788-3078. I hope after today's discussion with CG, all the students and established massage therapists listening are ready to come to Atlanta for the American Massage Conference and to stop by the National Job Fair. CG, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this very important subject today and for sharing your time and knowledge. I'm really looking forward to seeing you, as always, at the American Massage Conference in Atlanta.
Thank you.
Well, everybody, this is Felicia Brown, and on behalf of everyone from the American Massage Conference and Massage Therapy Radio, I want to thank you for tuning into this broadcast of the American Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series. Please remember to check back for upcoming interviews each week between now and May 20th. We look forward to seeing you in Atlanta in May. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a fabulous day.
Come again.
Let there be plenty, plenty. Let there be plenty